Friends, it's dawn on August 4th. I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to just blast through what I call the good news, stories of what I perceive as miracle, the unexpected, the arc of history and justice heading in a positive direction, etc. And so just as a reminder, I used to be traditional Irish Catholic. I'm now what we call Universalist. I believe the true word of God is Christ on the cross. Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. Them as all humans. It doesn't matter if you believe, what you believe. None of that matters. And then when Christ says they do not know what they're doing, I joke he's talking about the big crazy Murphy family. But I believe Christ is referring to all of us who hurt each other, heart and soul, in ways that we just can't understand. So let's go blast through what I perceive as good news. Ukraine grain shipment cleared to sail beyond Black Sea. Good news. Jones says loss in court could sink InfoWars. Well, that's okay with me. Research on pigs raises hope for human organ transplantation. Think about all the advances we've had in surgery and organ transplantations. So, for example, cataracts, our hearing devices, when we lose our hearing, we can repair or replace darn near any joint in the body. Replace kidneys with dialysis. I mean, this is where so much advancement has been made in the last 50 years. So I'm all for that. Now, this fall, back to campus also means back to normal. Talk with any incoming freshmen. They're just so excited to go to college. It doesn't matter where they go. Compared to what the freshmen experienced 3-4 years ago. That was nuts. U.S. Senate approves adding Finland and Sweden to NATO. That's good news. Now, I know people will disagree with me on this one, but Pelosi vows ironclad defense of Taiwan. I love it that Nancy Pelosi is mixing it up in what seems to be a world dominated by men and all these talks of war and what have you. It kind of reminds me of Dennis Rodman going to North Korea. All right. $400,000 for an executive assistant. Well, the good news here is that people who have historically been down lower on the rung are getting paid better. I mean, look at medicine. Nurses are getting paid much better. Unfortunately, it's not the case for CNAs who are actually doing the real work, the hands-on care of patients, whether it's in clinics or hospice, end-of-life care, it doesn't matter. But, this is a good trend. Southwest blazes a trail with travel credit policy. Good news. Now we get to the arts, where I just see wonderful stuff here. So this is a story about Jackie Onassis. I'm going to read some of this. Assessing her new home with a critical eye, the First Lady decided on her own space program, interior space. Jackie was a Democrat. DuPont, also featured in this article, a Republican. She was a Francophile. He was the last word on historical American furniture and decorative arts. DuPont would chair Mrs. Kennedy's Fine Arts Committee for the White House. Well, we all know that Jackie and Jack had a troubled marriage relationship and all that. But one could argue that all love stories have trouble in them. But the beauty, the art, the wonderment that came out of what the Kennedys were able to do. I mean, look at the Kennedy Center, for God's sakes. We got to go to Easter on the White House lawn under George Bush, and just being able to see the beauty of our White House and everything that the First Ladies have done for this over the years is really remarkable. This is a great story about music. Russian Romantic. It's about Sergei Rachmaninoff. Rachmaninoff retained the notion that music serves as a reminder of sheer joy, beauty, and happiness in dark times amidst the rubble of loss and the destruction of the world he grew up in. Sports, a great story on Vin Scully. I mean, how many of us have just been able to enjoy the wonderment of sports through the voices that announce it to us? In the opinion, check this out. I love this. A case for optimism. A continuum is emerging that equates individual freedom with economic freedom, educational freedom, and the freedom to live securely. Led by the voters, American culture is trying to right itself. Smiles are permitted. Hey, good news. And then we end up with this book review of Unmasked Alice. I have to read some stuff from this. I mean, it just has it all, going back to the 60s and the psychedelic movement, Jefferson Airplane, one of my favorite songs, White Rabbit, reference to Alice in Wonderland, blah, 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 blah. Go Ask Alice soon became a cultural phenomenon of such enduring power and popularity that millions of readers have sped through its pages, many testifying to its influence over their lives. But where did this diary come from? That's the mystery, or one of the mysteries, that Rick Emerson, the author of the book, attempts to unravel in Unmasked Alice, LSD, Satanic Panic, and the imposter behind the world's most notorious diaries. Now, as I claim, if you don't have time to read the book, just read the reviews. These reviewers are wonderful. Let's read this last sentence. At moments, Unmasking Alice turns from an investigation into an endearing publishing mystery, into a trial more overheated than if the Queen of Hearts were presiding. It's to the author's credit that the trip, in the end, remains worth taking. That's it for today.